Hello, I'm Paula Miles from the Hillsboro Brookwood Public Library, and welcome to Tween Time. Today, we're going to be doing something really fun for Tween Time. We're going to be looking at our very first HPL Discovery Kit. And now, the HPL Discovery Kit is a new program that we're starting, where you at home can come to the library and pick up a kit that you can do at home that has a bunch of fun STEM activities in it. So these kits are going to be for different age groups. So there'll be a kit for preschoolers, one for grade schoolers, and of course, one for tweens. So let's look at our tween kit. So this kit was going to be able to be picked up starting on September 7th, and new kits will come out every 2 weeks from that point. So in this kit, we have a Sudoku puzzle. So you can solve that for fun. We have instructions to make an origami cat. So you'll be able to make your own little origami cat, and you'll get a piece of origami paper so that you can make your kitty. That looks like fun. And then our main project for this kit is going to be to make an abacus. So you'll have all the instructions to make it, and you're going to have the materials to do it too. So your kit will come with 6 popsicle sticks. It'll come with 4 candy sticks and 20 wooden beads. So first we're going to talk a little bit about the abacus, and then I'll show you how to make it. So this is an abacus, and you're probably wondering, what is an abacus and what do I do with it? Well, it is something that you can use to do calculations. It's a tool, kind of like a calculator. So the calculations you can do with an abacus are adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. You're probably wondering, why does it have all these bars? And why are there some beads on the top and some beads on the bottom? Well, the beads on the top are called the heavenly beads. This abacus is a style called the Soroban, which is a traditional Japanese abacus. So the beads on the top of a Japanese abacus are called the heavenly beads, and the beads on the bottom are called the earth beads. And then each of these little bars counts for a different place. So this is the ones place, or the units. Then this bar is the tens place. And this bar is the hundreds place. And this one is the thousands place. So all of these beads on the bottom are going to count for 1. And the beads on the top are going to count for 5. So for instance, if we wanted to show the number 1, we would push 1 bead up to the center, and that would be 1. But to do this correctly, you would actually be laying this flat, because you don't want any of your beads to touch the center. So anything that's pushed up would be counted. So we'll go over this more later, and we'll change the camera so that you can see how the abacus works when it's laying flat. But first, let's go ahead and let's make one. Okay, so now we're ready to make our abacus. So this is what we're going to be going for. So we're going to need to do 1, 2, 3 sets of 2 popsicle sticks, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our candy sticks, and then we're going to have 5 beads on each line. So let's move this aside, and let's lay down our first set of popsicle sticks. So we'll put 1 here and 1 here. So I'm going to be using a hot glue gun. You could also use a line of tape. So we'll put a bead of glue right here, a bead of glue right here, 1 here, and 1 here. Now we're going to be taking a popsicle, well, not a popsicle stick, a candy stick, and laying it into the little pull of glue that you just put down, or your tape if you're using tape. Perfect. Okay, so now let's line up this popsicle stick with our little candy sticks. so that we know exactly where to put the glue. And then let's move this right about here. Oh wait, before we do this, we'd better put a bead on. So stick one bead on each of these. There we go. Now we can lay it down in our glue. Perfect. We'll move some of these little glue strings out of the way. So that's good. Now we can put another bead of glue over the top of these sticks, and I've run out of glue in my little glue gun. There we go. Okay, so we've got our glue down. Put another stick on top. Then we'll put some more glue on top of these sticks. Good. And another stick. So we're getting there. So as you can see, we've done the top half of our Japanese Soroban abacus. So let's do the bottom. So for the bottom, you see you're going to need 4 beads on each of the little sticks. So let's turn it like this and let's drop our beads on. Okay, we have 4 on that one. So we need 4 on this one. Halfway done. 4 more on this one. And then 4 more on your very last stick. Okay, all that's left to do is to attach our bottom bar. So let's line up this popsicle stick with our candy sticks, put a bead of glue in each place, and then lay our candy sticks right over the top, just like that. And for our last one, we put another strip of glue right over the candy sticks. And then we lay on our very last piece. And we are done. So, before we get started with the next part, I found that it made it a lot easier for me if I wrote down on each of the little bars which place it was. So this one is the units place, so we'll write down the ones. Then we're going to have the tens place, the hundreds place, and the thousands place. Just like that. And now you're ready to do some calculations. Okay, so now that we've built our abacus, let's look at how the abacus works. Now in a traditional Soroban Japanese abacus, we have a bar that separates these beads from these beads. And the beads on the bottom are called the earth beads, and the beads on the top are called the heavenly beads. Each of the heavenly beads is worth 5, and each of the beads that are the earth beads are worth 1. But each column has a different value. So the ones on this column are the ones place. The beads on this column are the tens place. The beads on the third column are the hundreds place. And the beads on the fourth column are the thousands place. So if we wanted to move one of these beads up to this bar, because you move either beads up or down to activate them. So if we move one bead up, that means this is showing us the number 1. If we move this bead down in the tens column, that means we have 5 tens. So 5 tens is 50. If we move 2 beads up in the tens column, that means 20. You move 1 bead up in the hundreds column, that's 100. And if you move 4 beads up in the thousands column, that means 4,000. So let's push all the beads back down and all the beads back up, and let me show you how to display a number on your abacus. So let's go with the number 32. So let's move up 1, 2, 3 in the tens place for 30, and 1, 2 to show 2 in the ones place, so 32. Now let's look at the number 105. So let's move up 1 in the hundreds place, and we need to move up 5 in the ones place. So if we were going 1, 2, 3, well, that's not enough. We need to move this one down. So see, we've moved this one up for 100 and this one down for 5. So 105. Let's try one more number. Let's look at the number 75. So that would be 50, 60, 75. We moved 1 down in the tens place for 5 tens and 2 up in the tens place for 2 tens, so that's 70. And 1 bead down for 5 in the units, 75. Now let's clear our abacus and let's get ready to do some calculations. Okay, so now we're ready to try a couple of calculations. Now this can be tricky, but the more you practice using your abacus, the easier it will be. So for our first one, we're going to do a simple addition problem. We're going to do 5 plus 3. So to demonstrate that on the abacus, we're going to need to push down 1 bead in the ones place to count for 5. And then we need to add 1, 2, 3 to it. So 5 and 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 equals 8. Let's try another one. So let's clear our abacus and let's try 1 plus 4. So we're going to move 1 bead up to show the 1, and then we need to move 4 beads up. Wait, we don't have 4 beads down here. So what should we do? So we're going to take the 5 down and we're going to give back 1 bead because we needed 4. So we borrowed from up here and we put back the 1. So now we have 5. So that's 1 plus 4 equals 5. Let's try another calculation. We'll clear the abacus and we're going to try a subtraction problem. This is 10 minus 5. So let's move 1 bead up in the 10 column. So that equals 10. Now we need to take away 5. So we're going to give back the 10, take away the 5, and then all we're left with is 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. We'll clear the abacus. And let's try a little bit harder of an addition problem. Now we're going to try 25 plus 73. So first, let's put 25 on the abacus. So that's 10, 20. Bring 1 down in the units place, and that's 5. So we have 25 here. Then we need to add 73 to it. So let's add 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3. So this is our answer. We have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98. So let's clear our abacus. And let's try the next one. Now this one's a little tricky, and I'll help walk you through it. So we're doing 105 minus 38. So we need to put 105 on our abacus. 1 up in the hundreds column, 1 down in the units column. So this is 5. 105. Now from that number we need to take away the 38. So there's nothing in the hundreds column for number 38. So we don't have to take away anything here. Let's go to the tens column. So we need to take away 3, but we don't have any beads up here against this bar. So there's nothing in this place. So what we need to do is we need to push this bead down. This is our 100 bead, and we're exchanging it for 10 10s in this column. But 10 10s is more than what we need in this column because we need to take away the 3. So 10 minus 3 is 7, so we're going to give back 7. 5, 6, 7. So now we have 7 in this column, none in this column, and 5 in this last column. So let's go to the units place. Now we need 5 take away 8. But 5 is a smaller number than 8. So what should we do? What we should do is what we just did in the previous step. Let's give back this bead in the tens place. And then, so we have 10 ones now. So what is the difference between 10 and 8? It's 2. So we need to give back 1, 2. So let's see what our answer is. We have 50, 60, 65, 66, 67. So the answer to 105 minus 38 is 67. So let's clear our abacus. And we are done with our calculations today. So keep practicing at home and see how quick you can solve your math equations.